Hello, it's Olga. Welcome to the day 20 of my 25 Days of Christmas tutorial series. Today we'll be making a set of a shaker card and a matching clear tag. I have pre-made a top folding card base, which is 4¼ by 5½ inches. And now I'm going to create a snowfall texture on top of it. So I'm applying a little bit of weathered wood distress stain on top of a plastic bag, and then I'm pressing it against the card base, and that will create the snow effect. What I like about this technique is that you don't necessarily have to use a watercolor paper. Any cardstock will do just as fine. Next, I'm going to use this Holly Branch die by Poppy Stamps and a set of circle sentiment stamps by Little Darlings rubber stamps. I'll also need a couple of circle dies. One is about the size of the stamp and one is a little bit larger. I'm going to arrange these elements on top of my card base. So first I'm placing the Holly Branch at the top of the card base, and then I'm going to find the position of a circle die, which is going to be a hanging ornament. Once I'm happy with the placement, I'm going to tape down this circle die. Then I'm going to open up a card base and run it through the die cutting machine. And here I have a circle window. Next, I have die cut a Holly Branch out of black cardstock 3 times, and now I'm going to stack all 3 die cuts one on top of another. I like using a liquid glue in a needle applicator bottle for this technique. I like stacking die cuts because it gives some texture to the card and makes it nice to touch, not only to look at. Next, I'm applying some white pigment ink right with my finger onto the die cut, and this will create some texture. And as always, you can find the tools and supplies that I'm using on my blog as well as in the description. Next, I'm going to tie a piece of twine around the twig, and this is going to be my ornament string. I'm going to apply some glue again at the wrong side of the branch, and I'm going to stick it on top of the card base. I'm also going to glue down the string. And now with the scissors I'm going to trim off the excess twine. Next, I'm going to need a piece of heat embossing acetate or a heat-resistant acetate. The one I'm using is by Crafter's Companion, and I'm applying some talcum powder on top of it. I'm going to choose one of the stamp that says Holly Days and has some holly leaves on top of it to match my branch, and I'm going to stamp it with the Versamark ink, just as I would normally do with a cardstock. I will also stamp another image that says Winter Cheer, and I'm going to use that one for the tag. Then I'm applying some silver embossing powder. And then I'm going to heat set the powder. I have preheated the tool really well, and that will allow me to heat set the image really quickly, and that will minimize the warping of the acetate. When all the powder is heat set, I can wipe off the talcum powder with a wet wipe. And here is what the images look like. Next, I'm going to cut out the circle image, making sure I leave enough space to stick it down behind the window. Now I'm adding some glue around the circle window at the wrong side, and then I'm attaching my heat embossed image on top of it. The adhesive I'm using is Glossy Accents. I'm pressing it down with an acrylic block to make sure it sticks really nicely. Because I'm not going to use any mounting tape for this project, I'm going to apply just a few clear sequins, and these are the flat ones, the clear shining stars. I'm also going to add some black glitter as well as a pinch of clear glitter. Then I'm going to apply glossy accents around the window again, and then I'm going to use a larger circle that I have die cut to cover up the shaker window. I'm pressing it with an acrylic block again really well to make sure no gaps are left. And here is what the shaker looks like. To embellish my hanging ornament, I'm going to use a couple of those holly leaves and berries. I'm attaching them together with a large brad, and then I'm going to use some hot glue to attach them to the card. And by the way, those leaves are also by LDRS, just like the circle stamps. Next I'm going to attach some clear droplets. These are by Cut Scrappiness, right on top of the acetate. I'm using the smallest one from the set, and I'm kind of following the pattern of the stamp. You can see those small circles there, and I'm just placing one droplet on top of each circle. You can see there are also some holly leaves in that pattern, and I'm going to attach one drop on top of the holly berries. Because those droplets are clear, they are not going to be too overwhelming. I will also add more droplets right on top of the berries of the branch, and this time I'm using both medium and small ones. And for the tiniest berries, I'm going to use just the glossy accents. Now the ornament string doesn't seem to stand out enough, so I'm going to color it a little bit using the black marker. Now I really wanted to add more texture to that holly branch and also make it look frosted, so I'm covering it with glossy accents, and then I'm going to use the stuff. It's called crystal topping. It's made of tiny glass beads. It's the real glass, not even plastic, and they are really rounded, and it's the perfect one to create a frosted effect. Next I'm going to attach some silver star sequins randomly all around the ornament, and I'm attaching one more right in the center of the brad. Now when my card is finished, I'm also going to create a clear matching gift tag for it. For the base of my tag, I'm going to use this Holly Wreath die set by LDRS, and I'm also going to use a circle die, the one that I used for the window in my card. I will run them through the machine together to make an open frame. I have made two of them, one of white cardstock and another one out of silver mirror cardstock, and I'm going to stick this acetate piece between those two frames. I'm using glossy accents again because I like how it bonds acetate to paper. To embellish the tag, I'm going to use clear droplets again. I will attach two small ones on top of the holly berries and one large one in the middle. To be able to hang a tag, I'm punching a hole at the top of it, and then I'm setting up an eyelet. All it's left to do now is to feed a piece of silver ribbon through the hole, and my project is finished. Thank you for watching this tutorial till the end. Here is a couple of projects from the previous years. I will be back soon with the project number 21, and I hope to see you again.